Okay, I first want to start off by thanking Beyonce.
Yes.
For allowing us to record this podcast.
Thank you, Beyonce. We worship the ground you walk on.
You are our idol.
We love you. We love you. Peace.
Illuminati triangle.
No. That's what we used to call the vagina in flip cup or in beer pong. You're like rearranging. I think you did it wrong.
Well, this is what she does.
Well, I think she needs to do it like this because this is a vagina.
Well, she's been seen going like this, kind of like a bow down.
Oh, well.
I don't know what the Illuminati people do.
Well, you did a vagina just now.
You just said that was a vagina.
This is.
What is this?
They're
both the same shape.
This is a triangle.
I am. This is a triangle.
Okay, but you did this.
Oh, I see where you're saying. Whoops. My bad. Power to the pussy.
Pussy power! So, with it being October, let's get back on track. We got off track really quick. With it being October, obviously spooky season, conspiracies, there's a lot of shit going on right now with what's happening in...
just the world.
The world, pop culture, Hollywood,
country music,
everything.
No one's safe.
No one's safe. Hide your kids, hide your wives,
hide your pets,
hide everybody.
Yeah,
like go hide. But so we just wanted to start out by giving a tribute to Beyonce, obviously, and thanking her for, I don't know, being alive. But so obviously, if you have been on TikTok or any social media, you probably know what's going on or have seen,
or somewhat
videos
in the know, heard people talk about it.
Right, it's literally there are probably some that it's just not on your For You page, but literally probably just listening to this podcast, it'll get to you somehow.
Yeah.
And you'll start, it's like every other video that I watch is about this P. Diddy scandal and we do want to say we're not experts, we're not fact checkers. We're literally doing this episode.
We are conspiring with everyone else. We're not
right.
We're just theorizing. I don't like conspiring.
Yeah,
we're just theorizing.
We're just talking about our opinions on the matter.
Yes. This is not fact. This is just
our opinions.
Hypotheses.
And if you're coming to our podcast for
education,
truth, and we're just talking about how we feel most of the time.
Yeah.
So
we're just wannabe CIA agents, and we're just here also trying to connect the dots.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing. So none of this is real. Everything is...
Well, it's real. Some of it is
I meant
real.
Anything that we speak on is alleged.
It's all alleged.
It's all alleged. It's not true. As far as we know. Mm-hmm. It's true all alleged.
Mm-hmm. And Beyonce is God.
And Beyonce's God.
So, like we were saying, like all of the P. Diddy stuff going on, there are so many accusations, there's just so much coming out. Yeah. It's so crazy, and everyone, like, that is a huge thing in itself. Mm-hmm. But have you heard how that is like a distraction to the 23andMe
I heard
thing
that
going on?
Yeah, I heard that. But
like data leak or what?
So the data leak that happened over the summer. But I believe the distraction is, so it was either like right before or right after he got arrested. Mm-hmm. And I'm talking like, obviously we know like he fled and like they were what's it called, like seizing his homes in LA and Miami like over the spring.
Right.
Obviously they arrested him officially like, a couple months late summer. Yeah. But obviously there was like a data leak in 23andMe, but I don't think that's I mean, that's a huge issue, and it's why I've never done any of that stuff. But I think the issue is all the board of directors for 23andMe all quit within the same day. And it has a lot to do with the CEO. So the company's public right now, and she wants to go private.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah.
Because they were private, and then they went
Public, yeah.
So it's like, you normally don't do that.
You don't do that.
So that's a little fishy.
Yeah.
But back to what we really want to talk about. But I think that's a big issue.
I think it's like huge. But see, what the weird thing is, it's like, I haven't seen anybody on mainstream media. Nobody on mainstream media nowadays covers anything to begin with.
They don't.
Which is like, that's one of my first bullet points. This is why they want to get rid of TikTok. Because TikTok
people
is...
share things.
And it's not controlled by the U.S. government. Like, they want to control what information is being fed to us. And obviously, like, we're going to get people from Florida, North Carolina, from Montana, being like, oh, like, this is going on, and, like, it's not being covered on mainstream media. Or we're going to get something happening in some other part of the world, and it's like, that's not being covered. How do we not
know? I mean, to be fair, there are only a certain amount of hours in the day, but they are repeating the same, like, you could turn on the news channel right now and hear the same story at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., all the way until fucking 5 p.m. news.
9 p.m. news.
Yeah, like, it's around the clock. Same fucking stories. Like...
Yeah, and they're like, we're going to keep you guys updated. Updated on what? Like,
just maybe find another story. There's so many stories that you guys could go out and find. Good, bad. Like, I understand they have to report on bad things that are going on in the world, but there are also very good things, too.
Yeah.
Like, happening all the time. If they were to just go on to social media and, like, they could probably have their next story in a minute.
Yeah. Also, it's just, like, journalism is not...
It is not the same.
What it used to be.
We were talking about this the other day when because we were both, you were in newspaper and I was in communications, and, like, I was 4 years ahead of you, but we were studying, like, newspapers and, like, actual going out and interviewing people and doing all of that, and I don't think that's dead completely, but everything is on your phones now. Like, their newspapers are a dying art, and... Like, they will probably be around until the boomers
go. Yeah. Because I don't even want to say they're, like, much of an online thing. No.
It's more of, like...
It's more of, like, people, like, there was an article on Variety or Substack. There isn't, like, I went on the Dallas News, like...
Yeah.
Or what's it called? Dallas Morning News.
Yeah. I mean, they have the website, but it's just, like, the website. And then
you have to pay for it.
Oh, well, then no.
Yeah, you have to pay for certain articles.
Yeah.
It's like Wall Street Journal and all those other ones. New York Times.
But that's a good point. They want... Because TikTok, social media, that's what keeps us all together. And I feel like as a country, we're very divided. But I think that it does keep us together.
TikTok especially.
But I think that it keeps us together in a certain, like, you know, the middleman people, it keeps them
Yeah, but I'm saying specifically TikTok, because Instagram, they have Zuckerberg in their pockets. Twitter, they got Elon in their pockets.
Yeah.
TikTok, they can't get in.
Yeah. And honestly...
And, like, the stuff they bring up, it's like, okay, yes, those are valid points.
Valid.
But also make those points to Zuckerberg and Elon and I don't know what else exists nowadays, but those are the two main guys really with also competing social media platforms.
Yeah. I mean, those two...
And those two are weird.
They are very weird.
Starting with my conspiracy that I think a lot of people probably... I don't know if I've spoken about this on the pod... But I truly think Elon Musk is an alien.
I think you have said that before on the podcast.
I think he's an alien. because he's just...
He does look kind of like he could be an alien.
Him, and then Mark Zuckerberg has definitely been abducted. Because he went looking like a scared Victorian child to a somewhat normal human being now. I saw a picture of him recently.
That's what puberty does to you, Luisa.
He's gonna be 50, at least.
He might be an alien too.
I'm saying he's abducted. Because, like, if you do, like, pictures of him, like, early 2000s, like, when Facebook is public, and then, like, maybe 5 years ago, he looked like his eyes were, like that, like, wide. And people joked, like, oh, something happened to him. And now, it looks like he's reversing in age. It's weird. And he had an ugly-ass haircut 5 years ago, too. And, like, now, he looks somewhat normal. And I'm like, you're weird. Also, he has a bunker in Hawaii.
It's not a bad place to have a bunker.
No. But, okay, that's another conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Let me write it down.
We literally...
For later.
We were writing conspiracies down because we kept talking about them. And I was like, okay, no more talking. We need to save it for the pod. But what we were originally talking about, that Mark Zuckerberg and Elon.
Zuckerberg was definitely abducted. Elon is definitely from outer space.
Elon abducted Mark.
Well, they don't get along. They fight. They be tweeting at each other like, let's have a fight on this date. It's like,
maybe that's why
they
sent him back.
Who? Mark or Elon?
They sent Mark.
They're both
back.
defected at this point. Maybe.
But I think maybe Elon he's the one that ordered the abduction on Mark.
Maybe. But Elon is just like, and I mean no disrespect, like autism, Asperger's, like that's a very real thing. But also, I just want to point out something huge. How else would an alien integrate themselves and pass off their weirdness by saying, oh, I just have like Asperger's? But I'm not saying, like, I have a cousin who, like her son, I guess he's like my second cousin or my nephew, whatever. Nephew.
Yeah, whatever.
Second cousin's weird. He has autism. He's a very smart boy, whatever. Yes. But the way Elon is just, the way he moves, the way he names his children.
But a lot of celebrities name their children weird-ass
Did you see, it's like XY something.
No.
It's like a weird scientific thing.
I don't know.
It's one thing to name your kid like Adam. Like an atom. Like ATOM. But it's different to be like, oh, I'm going to name my kid, Google it.
DNA.
It's something like that, yeah. And then his mom resembles the queen alien lady from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, yeah, you should. We've talked about this. You've
pulled up you guys picture. Go pull up Elon Musk's mom. Okay? Pulling it up now. Okay, perfect. Screenshot that in your head. Okay, now Google alien queen lady from Lilo and Stitch. Mm-hmm. They look, bone structure, they look alike.
So what if the character is just made...
It's a real thing. What if Elon
Lilo and
is
Stitch is not real?
How we don't know that.
I mean, you're right. We don't.
At this point,
At this point, I don't even know my own name sometimes. Like...
Yeah.
Just on a personal level, and then trying to, like, think about all this shit that's going on. It's really, like, what's real, what's not real.
Yeah.
And then, like, this is why I can't believe everything you read on the internet.
No, we're turning into our parents.
I know. But it's like, okay, we can't trust the media. Like, we can't trust the media outlets.
No.
Because they're being told what to say.
Yeah.
Like, there are many videos of, like, people saying things and then you're like, that's not really what I think or whatever. Like, It's like, well, then why the fuck are you saying it? Like, you need that job so bad. Like, you can literally go find another job that you can pursue your passion and not feel like a piece of shit for literally lying to the entire country.
Yeah. But, because, like, I've stumbled on this through my alien deep dives. And it's like, it's a known fact that, like, there are, like, CIA and, like, government plants in all of, like, the major networks. Obviously, like, now they're, like, normalizing what, you know, the public knows as UFOs, but it's now government name UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Because when people used to call in back in the day and be like, oh my god, I saw a UFO, blah, blah, blah. Like, who, like, people, they wouldn't run it, ever. They would never run it. And it's like, why won't they run it? Like, sometimes these people are, like, regular old folks out in the country. Like, go to church every Sunday. But the Men in Black are not from the government.
No, I'm saying, like, the Men in Black guy that, like, when the alien thing comes down and, like, hits his farm. And he gets whatever, and then the alien takes over his body. Not quite like that, but, like, he was a normal, and then his wife is like, where are you at, Roger? Or whatever. He's like, and then, the alien comes back.
But, like, people have, like, what's known that, like, there's plants in all networks that kill those stories from ever being aired.
That's wild. I think that happens a lot with a lot of topics.
Oh,
not
100%.
Just aliens. Because
100%.
you have to be politically correct, and you can't.
I don't even think it has anything to do with being politically correct.
I think it has.
I think it has everything to do with the less the public knows, the easier they control. Well, yeah. Because an uneducated mind, the dumber you are, the more gullible you are. Mm-hmm. Because you're not going to, oh, well, they said this, so I'm going to believe it.
Yeah. Well, it's just taking advantage of the power that they have and in the position that they have.
Yeah. That's why they hate TikTok. Mm-hmm. Because we're on there in the comments and we're just spiraling away and we're like, oh, yeah. Yeah. And they do not like that. Exactly. Like, I've also, like, besides all this conspiracy stuff, I've learned so much on TikTok that has benefited me so much.
Yeah. Just, like, to make your life easier. Like, you're like, oh, how do I make a whatever dish or whatever? You can just...
Yeah, or Excel cheat codes or literally... Yeah. How to make... I'm really into, like, I really want to make sourdough. Yeah. And it's like, oh, how to make my own sourdough starter.
Yeah, so it's good, too.
Yeah.
But what we were originally talking about...
Yeah, we're getting sidetracked.
Literally not talked about this at all. Like what we've been talking about. We've been talking about how P. Diddy has gotten arrested. We touched on
Yeah, he's under trial he's awaiting a trial right now.
And just how everyone connected to that is an insane number of people. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the reason why we thanked Beyonce. I was going to say Britney Spears. Why we thanked Beyonce is because she's obviously at the top of that list. And what's been circling around is, like, when other artists win, like, Artist of the Year or Music Video of the Year or whatever, they are, I don't know, I guess
they're
forced to thank her for whatever reason, but there's the people that won those awards and didn't thank her ended up not here
Not
anymore.
dying, but there was also another theory I saw.
Yes,
because I guess... Yeah, some of them are dead, but I saw another theory where it's like, I guess, when Lizzo won something one year, I don't know what, she didn't thank Beyonce. Mm-hmm. You know what Lizzo was dealing with later on that year, her PR scandal, was all of her team coming out that she was harassing them sexually. Do you remember when all that stuff was coming out? Yeah. And then she just won this last year, and what did she do? She thanks Beyonce. What? And now she's losing all this weight.
What?
Isn't that weird? And then I think the other one was
That's
Doja
so
Cat.
weird.
Doja Cat won, I can't remember what. And she didn't thank Beyonce. And she's pretty much like, no, I haven't heard of Doja Cat. Like, she's got her singles that come out every once in a while, but like,
yeah,
she's very small at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's like you're either like offed or you get a really bad PR scandal your way.
And we know what happened to Britney. I mean, well, in the video that I saw, she thanked Beyonce. So maybe there was another...
Britney Spears?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's going through all of her mental... Shaved her head in 2007.
Yeah.
Like, she's probably fucking going crazy because of all the back end...
I mean, I would fucking shave my head too if I was going through that shit.
Yeah. But you were going to tell me... I was telling you about that video. She was... When she was thanking Beyonce was... she had won an award for, like, all of her top hits because there was a time when Britney was... like a Taylor Swift where she was just winning
award after award, yeah.
So the performance or whatever was these kids reenacting her music videos, and you mentioned Jamie Lynn Spears.
Like her Jamie Lynn Spears, because I remember when all that stuff, you know, when Britney went to court maybe 2 years ago, and all this stuff about her was coming out, and everybody was like, oh my god, like, she really was how people were theorizing years before that she was being held captive, pretty much.
By her own family.
By her own family. They were using her as, what do they call it? Like a money mule or something. And so there's a performance, and I'm pretty sure it's the same one, where it's a tribute to her. And Jamie Lynn is singing, like, it's performing the song. And you can see that Britney is a bit annoyed. Like, she's bothered by it. And, I mean, rightfully so. It's like, it's a tribute to me. It only makes sense for me, for Britney, to perform her top hits.
Yeah.
It's the way I see it. Like, why do I want to see her dweeb-ass sister performing the songs?
I was probably, I don't know.
You know? And so, like, Britney, you could tell that Britney was, like...
But her sister was younger than her. Her sister probably didn't...
But they do not get along.
But I don't think that her sister had anything to do with it. Her sister was probably forced to do it.
Jamie's not as innocent as people think.
Well, what did she do?
Well, like, she... Okay. So, like, Britney has money... obviously set aside for her kids. And Jamie Lynn was trying to be... I might get this mixed up because, I mean, I did the Britney Spears dive when it was fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh on everyone's mind. But it was something regarding, like, Jamie Lynn and I think her dad both had control of Britney's money. So they were both living off of Britney's money pretty much. And they kept her drugged and all this stuff. And, like, Britney, like... I guess, like, had begged for, like, someone to save her and all this stuff. Like, begged her sister, like, oh my god, like, please help me. And, like, Jamie Lynn did nothing.
How would Jamie Lynn have access to that, though?
Jamie Lynn is not as innocent.
But how would she have access to that? As a younger sister who grew up in the same industry as...
Well, like, you have to think about, like, what the industry was at that time. And, like, Jamie Lynn was a known bully in Nickelodeon. Like, she bullied the cast. Like, she bullied that one girl in Zoe 101. Like, Jamie Lynn is not as nice as people...
But how is she going to get legal documents where she has control over Britney's money?
Because her dad gives it to her. Oh my god, that scared me. Beyonce's coming in. Okay, I'm just trying to say it's like, okay, you have two sisters, right? One's really, really big. And you are trying to make your way to the top just as she is, like, falling from grace, right? She ends up pregnant in a very popular Nickelodeon show. Obviously, it wasn't Disney Channel, but still, like, Nickelodeon at the time, like, was a very big thing with kids, and it's like, they don't want a pregnant teen to be representing them.
Right.
So it's like, what are you going to do to not really stay relevant, but it's like, where are you going to get your money? And this is me just theorizing, okay? This is alleged. I don't know anything, but it's like, obviously, like, she's going to strike up a deal with her dad, because how else is she going to take care of herself?
I just don't understand how... I mean, I guess it's all corrupt, so...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I 100% think
but, like, why...
Jamie Lynn was jealous of her sister's success.
Probably.
And saw an opportunity where she could have control and have access to her sister's wealth, and took full advantage of it.
It's just wild because... I guess, I mean... Brittany was probably I don't know how old she was, but, like, she was probably under 18 when she became...
She started a Mickey
famous.
Mouse Clubhouse with Ryan Gosling and all them.
No, I'm saying, like, her music, when she became, like, really big.
Oh, yeah, like 16, 15.
Like, her music videos and stuff. So, I guess that's why her parents would have control of the conservativeship.
That came after.
See, I just don't understand how you get put in that position.
So, she gets in conservatorship after her mental breakdown, when she shaves her head and everything. She gets put in a conservatorship because they deem her, quote unquote, like, mentally unstable and unable to make decisions for her health and her financial stability.
That makes sense.
That is where not only her dad steps in, but this other woman, I forget her name, steps in as well, and they sign the conservatorship.
That's so weird.
It's really fucked up.
Yeah.
And so, like, when Brittany, like, was going to court to free herself of the conservatorship, she was calling, like, everyone out, and on social media too.
Mm-hmm. No, I remember.
Like, she was, like, calling her mom out, her sister, her dad, like, pretty much saying, like, you guys put me through fucking hell for your own happiness.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So that's the Britney conspiracy that everyone can go back and deep dive.
No, I remember that. But it's just crazy how, I don't know. It's like her performance, like, I don't know, you wouldn't ever think, like, I grew up on Britney Spears, and you would never put Britney and Beyonce together. Like,
no, they're like two different niches too.
Right. And I'm like, okay, I can see how you could, like, run in the same circle, I guess, because it's Hollywood and whatever, but, like, you're not seeing Britney and Beyonce hanging out or, like, doing any of that. Not that I, like, hang out with celebrities on the daily, but, like, you would think that you would see them at some point in time together, besides at this award show, and it's like, why are you thinking Beyonce for your success? It's so weird to me. But that, like, Amy Winehouse didn't thank Beyonce 3 months later, apparently, and she had come gotten clean, and then a week later she, like, fell off the wagon.
She's found OD'd, yeah. That one was really sad. I loved her. And she falls into the under 27 club too. Or the 27 club, not the under, but doesn't make it past 27.
Yeah. That's just so crazy to me. Daisy?
Yeah.
Don't do it. But one of the questions I was going to ask you is that, you know how, like, we're obviously on TikTok and we see all these, like, reoccurring videos and theories and all this stuff. Do you think that, like, our parents or, like, older people know what's going on? Because obviously they're not really talking about this on mainstream media.
So...
Like, if I were to be like, Mom, do you know what's going on with
No,
P.
they
Diddy?
wouldn't know.
She'd be like, who the fuck's P. Diddy?
No, they wouldn't know.
She'd be like, I have no idea who that is.
Like,
why do I
The
care?
man goes by so many names.
Like,
P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs.
Yeah. Sean
Combs. Man, like, his government work must be fucking...
Well, I feel like P. Diddy is his, like, artist name.
Okay, and Sean Diddy Combs
is his
legal.
personal legal
His
name.
legal name.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
well,
it's like,
no, I don't think they know.
I don't think that they would know.
I think they would only know based on like their children or like younger people that they're surrounded by talking about it. Because my brother and I obviously talk about this.
Yeah.
My brother more specifically because he listens to rap music. He's always listened to rap music.
Yeah.
So he knows the history behind rap, going all the way back from like Tupac and Suge Knight, Eminem, 50 Cent. Like he knows all of that. And he like J. Cole, he's like J. Cole, this is really interesting. J. Cole was signed on to Jay-Z's label. Mm-hmm. And Jay-Z's really close with P. Diddy.
Right.
J. Cole got into it with P. Diddy, like into a huge fight. And Jay-Z was like, dude, what the fuck? Like I just signed this kid on. Like you can't be like messing this up.
Yeah.
And so like J. Cole has never ever gotten along with P. Diddy. 50 Cent has always called P. Diddy out. Eminem has always called P. Diddy out. It's like, I don't know. It's just so my brother and I Michael Jackson. Let's pause the brakes there.
Okay.
But my brother and I were actually talking about it last Thursday because we were like, oh my god. And my mom's in the background on our way to Costco. She's like, and she's not. Sorry, Beyonce. She's not a big Beyonce fan. She's a good respect for her, but my mom is an older woman and she's got different tastes in music.
Yeah.
But she's like, I don't think she would do that. I don't think. And I'm like, we don't think a lot of people would do things, Mom.
Yeah.
But when you point out the facts, like I was telling Erin earlier, someone put, and you can look it up on TikTok, Beyonce world tours lining up with people's deaths. Mm-hmm. Like big, like huge artist deaths. And it's like, she announced her first world tour. Michael Jackson died like a few months later. Her second world tour.
And he was wanting to like come out and like.
Well, he was like writing letters about how like he was scared like people were gonna kill him and like
that people were watching
him. And so, okay, before I go into that, let me finish the list of people. So, second world tour, Donna Summers dies. She is the queen of disco. Third tour, I believe it's like Prince and like so on and so forth. Like you can look at the list and it's like these are all like huge prominent figures in the music industry. Like they're not just regular Joe Schmoes. Like no, these were people that like changed the face of music during a huge time in Hollywood. Yeah. So I just and she performs like in memoriams at her concerts to these people that have passed. And I just think that is very so eerie. Morbid. Yeah. It's so morbid.
That's disgusting. If it's true, you know.
If it's true. Yeah. We don't know.
But allegedly.
To the Michael Jackson thing, so a lot of y'all don't know, but the reason why I love celebrities and all their drama is because I was 13 years old when Michael Jackson passed away, and YouTube and its conspiracies were at its height, and it was the summer, I had nothing else to do, so I watched every single thing I could on this man and his life and everything. And if you listen to really like his music, because my brother and I were also talking about this, he calls out a lot of stuff. And one song that I was really like was center, like front and center in my head is like, he has this song called They Don't Really Care About Us. And he's just like, it's very not aggressive, but it's just very passionate, and it's just singing like I haven't heard the song in a while, but it's really like the chorus is they don't really care about us. And he's singing this in a Brazilian like the ghetto in Brazil. But it's like, I mean, if you really listen to like a lot of his songs, it's like he really is calling out a lot of bullshit. Yeah. A lot of bullshit. And so, oh man, so this man connected to, okay, so Michael's music, if I'm not wrong, all of it was signed under Sony Records. Sony Records at the time had Clive Davis. Clive Davis started at ACR or AC something, and then moved art to RCA Records, which I found very fucking interesting because RCA Records also had the Menendez brothers' father, who signed on this band, this Mexican boy group called Menudo. And it's also rumored that he sexually assaulted some of those boys too. So I just think that connection, the Menendez brothers' dad, because he signed them on, and I guess he was there for like when they were, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's alleged, some members have come out that he touched them and did stuff to them as well.
Oh my God.
And I just think it's weird that Clive Davis also happened to join. I don't know, like, the music industry is a fucking weird place.
Yeah.
So he goes from
art. Hollywood in general, it's like they have so much money, they don't even know like what the fuck to do with it.
No.
It's like, why don't you fucking donate
it? Give it to me. Write me a check.
Right, like maybe we could solve some problems. Like, why?
Jeff Bezos has so much money, he could literally hand out, I think it was like $1 million, and he'd still be the richest man in the world. I think
every person.
I think it's like I can't remember what the math was, but like he can hand out a certain amount of money to every person and still be the richest.
Easy. It's not your
We're talking about a man that's like building a giant ass yacht.
Yeah.
For what?
Because he can.
You don't even have a big dick. It's not going to fit in there. It's so small you could take like a little like floaty.
He has a little micro peen.
For real.
No, I think that is a very good point because it's like, I would say not like, there's a very 1%, this like very 1% of people in Hollywood that make that kind of money. Like that it's just stupid. Whatever.
Yeah, because actually that's another good point. Like a lot of people that are in Hollywood that we think they're like, oh, they're rich and famous, most of them are in debt.
Probably.
So yeah, you're about right. Like about 1% really truly do have the wealth they're alleged to have.
And I mean, I get it. It's like you worked hard, but it's like, why? Like, I guess it's like, I don't know. This is a kind of very off topic, but like, as a professional sports player, why does that make more money than like a teacher? I was gonna say like a scientist curing cancer or something like that.
Well,
like
they make a lot of money.
Not as much as a fucking football player.
Well, no, they don't. But like a teacher would be a great example.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's a good one. But I mean, yes, scientists make good money, but like
not compared to like
are making millions of dollars a year to play sports, and I get it's a full-time whatever, but it's millions.
It's a short-term career too.
Millions.
It's not like you're living, I mean, honestly, let's be honest, guys. It's not like these football players are living to see their career end like most of us at 65 or 70.
Right. That would actually be really cute to have like a grandpa league.
It would really be cute. But then it's like they have so much concussions, and like I was just talking about this to someone at work. Like their head injuries really make me nervous because we all know that head injuries in men lead them to be serial killers.
This is not where I thought you were going.
Where did you think I was going?
I just thought like just men in general, like they're going to be stupid or like they're...
Well, we know that. Did you see that video? This is off topic, but there was a video of a guy that went viral here in Dallas, who was wearing like a motorcycle helmet, and his friends were holding like a really nice plasma TV, and he like ran his head into it and broke his fucking back.
That's just stupidity.
The comments were like, and he was sober as he did this.
I saw that headline, and I don't like to see people like fall or like get hurt or punched or anything. And I was like, I saw that this morning, I think. Oh. And I was like, I don't need to see that. Yeah. Like, but that's just stupidity. Like, that's just boys being stupid boys. Yeah. Of like, oh, let me see if I can ram my blah, blah, blah. That would be like me doing that to that TV. And that TV is fucking heavy. I used all of my strength and my effort to get that thing up there. I did it by myself. And I'm like, I'm never moving that thing again by myself. But I was like, I need it to be upstairs, and nobody was home to help me. And so I fucking rolled it. Like, there was a part of the process of me getting it up here where I was rolling it up the stairs. And then I got to the part where the stand was, and I was like, well, fuck, I can't roll that over the stairs. And so then I had to fucking pick it up again.
Oh, man.
I thought I was going to fall down the stairs. I got to the second step, and I kind of, like, lost my balance for a second because I stepped on the fucking cord that just decided to fall out, and I was like, I literally thought I was going to fall. And I was like, I would have died.
Oh, my God.
No more podcast.
Oh, my God.
How did Erin die? She fell down the stairs, and the TV crushed her. I'm like, my mom comes home, and she's like, oh, my God. I don't know. She'd be like, Erin, get up. Erin, get up. And then she'd probably freak out. But, man, what were we talking about before we went off that? Oh, how the rich should give us money.
Yes.
And that teachers don't make enough.
No.
They don't.
They don't make enough. They don't give them enough money to, like,
to do an accurate
to fund
job.
their classrooms.
The fact that teachers, and this is not a conspiracy. This is real.
This is real.
This is a real life thing. But the fact that teachers have to go out of their own pocket to supply school supplies for their classrooms and for their agendas and whatever, that's insane.
That is insane.
Like, if I need business cards or I need materials or whatever, my job provides that for me.
Yeah.
Our schools and our taxes that we are supposed to be paying, and it comes out of our paychecks every fucking time we get paid. There should be a direct, like, there's Medicare, there's health insurance, there's all of that. There should be a direct correlation to these schools. These teachers are responsible for teaching our kids the next generations of our country. And, like,
we can't even get them the right tools.
Yeah,
or they don't have, like, working AC in their fucking school buildings.
We're setting them up for failure. It's like, how can you expect the next generation to be competent in, one, what's going on, how to fucking read? A lot of kids don't even know how to read.
No. My friend, her brother is a middle school teacher, and I don't know what I was talking about, like Harry Potter or something. And I was like, oh, like, your kids probably... And he's like, girl, he's like, my kids can barely read 4th grade reading levels. And that is fucking... School? Yes. That is fucking crazy to me, because I was reading 800-page books in middle school. Yeah. A week.
Well, you also...
I'm just saying, like, also, I'm not just... Me is different. True. Me is different, but I'm saying, like, other girls were also reading those same books at their own pace. Right. But we were all reading...
Yeah, they were very much so a popular book to be reading. Not
Harry Potter. I'm just talking about any...
But Harry Potter just in general. Yeah. Like, that was a very popular book, and maybe it's just not as popular to these kids growing up, but, like, there are plenty of books that you can read.
Julie B. Jones.
That's a classic.
Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
Yeah.
Amelia Bedelia.
There's a ton.
Done.
What is it? Captain Underpants. That's a good one.
That's a good one. Cat in the Hat.
Yeah. That one's easy. You guys should definitely be able to read that. Right. But,
my niece could definitely read that.
Yeah, and she's definitely not even in school yet.
No, she's in pre-K.
Right.
So no, she can't. Her older sister can. Sorry. Oh, Daisy. Stop being nosy.
It's just Fiona. Leave her alone. But anyways, let's get back to our
conspiracies. But yeah, guys, the teachers not making enough money. A lot of them have to get second jobs. That's all true. That's not part of the conspiracy.
Or go back to school to get so they can get a higher paying job.
Yeah.
Within their school district.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why am I busting my ass?
Also, I would like to call out some of these parents, okay? Because some of y'all, school is not daycare. You guys are not paying
No.
these poor teachers to deal with your fucking shithead children, okay? Yeah. It is not their job to discipline your damn child.
No.
You do
Teach
that.
them manners. Teach them how to be respectful. Teach them how to...
fucking read and write, man.
Well, that is part of their job, but they're...
But also, it's like, push that at home, too.
Right, you have to
Don't just fucking homework. Sit them in front of the TV the iPad. That literally, you are deteriorating their motor skills.
But also teach them about their emotions and how to handle stress. And, like, if someone's mean, what do you do? Like,
yeah, don't lash out. Like, count to 3.
Obviously, it's probably a lot harder than what we're saying because we don't have children. But I think that a lot of kids abuse and use the system more than they should.
100%. All right. Back to the topic at hand.
Back on conspiracy theory. I just gotta go chase Fiona around. Okay, so P. Diddy's arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce's obviously has a big role in it because all of this stuff's coming out. Yes. Jay-Z, obviously, he's like second on the list. Did you see that the list is out?
I haven't gone through the list. I know, which I think is so interesting. It's like a Texas attorney that is involved in all of who's like defending the plaintiffs. All of the victims. As young as 9 years old, by the way.
Jesus.
But I do want to differentiate by this real factual list, and then, because people are also like circulating this other list, and I think there are 2 different lists. There are lists that people attended a party.
Yes.
And then
there's the list that I saw. There's
a list of the people that stayed for the freak-offs. And I think the freak-offs is a lot more important than like the actual
attendance of a
party. Because you could show up for 5 minutes and be like, I showed my face, Irish goodbye now.
I think yes, but if you're running in that circle, then there's no way that you don't know what's going on, even after you leave. Like, and I get it, like, people with money are scary. They could ruin your life. They could fucking kill you. Obviously, it's been done. So, like, they probably have a picture of you at the party to implicate yourself or whatever they have on whoever. But, like, as somebody that just stands by and knows what's going on, you're just as guilty.
Yeah. But I think the difference is because in the freak-offs, I think that's what the list is coming from. Probably. Because they have a list, because this is what he would do. So the freak-offs...
I just heard that term like 5 seconds ago.
Okay. Really?
Well, when I was watching a video before we started, yeah.
Okay, so he would host his famous white parties, his famous house parties.
Right.
Whether LA, Miami, New York, wherever. And so everybody would show up to the party, whatever. And some known, others not known. But this is the thing, like, they knew who would stay and who wouldn't. Like, they knew who to go and, like, kind of make contact with. And
who is
so,
they?
Like, P. Diddy and, like, his minions.
Okay.
And I know there's been a lot of speculation that, like, oh, Kanye, whatever. I saw a video of a girl she's a woman who was up and coming and was invited to one of these parties with her manager, and Kanye and P. Diddy were like, come on, drink, don't be a loser, come on, drink. And she like pretended, she pretended to drink, and she knew something was up with her drink.
Yeah.
So
but her manager drank it.
Her manager drank it, and pretty much it's alluded. She was left alone in a room full of men, and Kanye and P. Diddy were, like, pretty much cornering her, like, take your clothes off, and, like, they were, like, pawing at her, and that she looks to the other 3 men, hoping, and honestly, this is also a lesson to you fucking men that just fucking stand by and don't do anything. They all looked away. They refused to look at her, and that is fucking disgusting.
It's very disgusting.
Like, for you guys that are like, not all men, well, don't be like all men.
Yeah.
If you see something, fucking say something.
Right. Fucking, yeah. Exactly. Step in.
Exactly. Don't just like, oh, well, it's not my problem. No, it is your fucking problem.
Yeah.
Okay?
It is.
And so, anyways, that is an example of a freak off. Like, he would purposely, like, drug people because he did not discriminate, man or female.
Yeah.
He would drug. And he pretty much, whoever wanted, it's known, kind of like alluded to, that P. Diddy preferred male attention.
Yeah.
And pretty much anyone else. But he did something very similar to Epstein. He recorded and took videos of all of these freak offs. And that is the list that I think they haven't released yet because what I saw last week.
Well, there's no way, if this is going to trial, there's no way they're going to release that list before the trial. There's no way. Because, that's
a lot of it is going to be sealed, and we're not going to see it probably until
after the trial or during the trial, whenever it's presented.
And it's not going to be televised for people that don't know because it is involving the feds.
Yeah.
Most federal trials
don't have cameras. Yeah.
Where they're going to have a little person like drawing them, like they did with like.
That's so cool. That's such a talent.
It really is for you to do that like so fast.
And they look. It's like one of those character people. It's like, oh shoot, his nose is a little bit big. Okay, whatever, it's fine. He's like, his head's like 10 times bigger.
I'm like, where are you guys sitting? And get these angles. But so I think that's the list that they're talking about. Mm-hmm. And based on what I saw on this like Texas, I just thought it was so random that there's this like older like Texas attorney involved in the case. But I mean, stranger things have happened, and who knows who his. He's defending.
And he may...
But he alluded to the fact...
Be from wherever. One of those locations.
Yeah, he might have his bar, like, nationwide, for all I know. But he alluded to that, like, the list is very extensive. And it has highly... I think this goes way beyond Hollywood. 100%.
Oh, I bet.
And then there was another lawyer...
I think that's just... It starts there, because that's where the eye is.
Yeah.
Like, that's people are watching Hollywood.
Yeah.
Because it's Hollywood.
Yeah. For real.
Like, it's the entertainment world. So people are watching to be entertained. And I think that it is corrupt. I feel like it's probably way bigger than anybody
well, I definitely think that, like, Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby were, like, the tip of the iceberg for this. Because if they hadn't tapped into that, all of this other stuff wouldn't have, like, slowly...
Who was the first one you said?
Harvey Weinstein.
He's the guy on the news.
Harvey Weinstein. Okay, so Harvey Weinstein was a producer who...
Good Morning America?
No, that's Matt Lauer.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, Matt Lauer is a different person. They were definitely, like, the beginning... Of like an avalanche, in Hollywood, in these big things. But Harvey Weinstein was this big producer who, he came on to like Salma Hayek and like all of these actresses pretty much like, oh, if you want to make it on Hollywood, you pretty much have to suck my dick.
Yeah. And
some of them felt like pressured into it because they didn't. They're like, well, how the hell he's gonna like he's gonna shun me.
Yeah.
And other women, like Salma Hayek is one that spoke out and was like, she refused to work with him. I think he produced Frida, where she plays Frida Kahlo. And she refused to work with him afterwards. I think it's Gwyneth Paltrow told what's his name? Brad Pitt, when they were dating in the 90s, that Harvey Weinstein came home to her and that she was, like, really spooked. And he threatened Harvey Weinstein. Like, that's the thing. Like, that was a known thing. Everyone knew.
And nobody did anything.
Yeah. Also, okay, this just, like, made me think of something. Have you ever watched, I know you don't watch award shows, but, and I'll have to send it to you later, but it's this British comedian, and he was asked to host the Golden Globes. And he's there after the Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby shit. And he is pretty much calling out every single person in that fucking room. And he's like, this is going to be the last fucking time I host anyways. Like, they're not going to invite me back. And he literally goes on a 10-minute monologue. But he's calling out people like, oh, like Harvey Weinstein. And, like, you can see when the camera pans to the audience, like, they put, like, a laugh track over it.
Yeah.
But some of them are like, oh. And he's like, oh, he's like, don't owe me. He's like, you guys were his friends. It's you. It's your fault. It is such, and I really think, like, I mean, nothing's happened to him. He's fine. But I'm like, damn. Like,
That's
he
scary.
was very fucking ballsy.
Yeah.
To do that.
Well, I've heard, like, Denzel Washington
Mm-hmm.
in that video that I was telling you about, the girl that speaking out that was there
Mm-hmm.
as a child at one of the parties she was like, I attended the parties, but I was the party favor, is what she said.
Oh, I've heard that, yeah.
And I was like, that is sick.
Oh, and then, obviously, alleged, but P. Diddy's Miami home,
Mm-hmm.
like, it's in the island where, like, the wealthy live.
Mm-hmm.
Opposite of it, the Miami port.
Mm.
And, like, because it's alleged that he obviously got... It's alleged that, like, obviously people are paid off not to check certain containers
Mm-hmm.
that hold children, people being trafficked.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, his home just happened to be right across from where the Miami port...
Go a short little way.
Where you just have to, like, send a little boat or something.
Oh my god. That is so wild. Like, I know whenever that movie came out, what's it called? Freedom.
It's The Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom, which you haven't watched it yet.
No.
You should watch it. It's crazy. Like, with all of this coming out, it's crazy just how disgusting people can be. And, like, this has probably been happening forever.
For a long time. I mean, if you look back at, the beginning of Hollywood, like, I mean, Judy Garland is a perfect example. Shirley Temple, like, child actresses. Judy Garland was, like, drugged for most of Wizarding of Oz. And who knows what else happened to the poor woman. But, like, she died very young.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she was drugged for most of the Wizard of Oz, and, like,
why?
if you look at the history, because they needed her to stay awake, because they were, like, filming constantly.
Just fucking let her go to sleep and she'll wake up better tomorrow.
And
give her some food.
She was young too. Like, when you look at, like, the dark history of, I mean, it's always been there.
Yeah.
It's always been there. I mean, Shirley Temple, like, it's just, like, gross.
What happened to Shirley Temple?
I forget, but, like, a child actor as well, who was just, like, she was a cute little kid who sang, and it's, like, they always had her. Yeah. She was the, what's it called? Like, she's where the money was going to.
That's just really sad. But it's just crazy how, like, people can be so disgusting, and, like, the money aspect of everything is, like, it's gross.
Yeah. It's so...
You have literally no morals, no value, no care for anybody but your pocketbook.
Yeah. It's very...
sick.
It's very sick because it's, like, there are people struggling.
Yeah.
Like that amount of money could change someone else's life.
It could change...
Pay their medical bills.
It could change the world.
Literally.
Like, it could... The amount of money that these people have, and obviously probably a good portion of it is from doing these illegal things.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how fucking drug cartel people live in mansions.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you buying a mansion when you
have dirty money on your hands?
Yeah. Like, you own a laundromat. Like, the laundromat doesn't make enough money for you to have, like, have that mansion payment.
Or, like, the mob.
Yeah. Like, it's... Yeah. You can make a lot of money doing dirty things, and I think that as people and as humanity, like, we have to be better. Like, we have to be kind to each other. And we say this.
I mean, I think it goes past being kind. It's like,
just a fucking
do the fucking human thing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't fucking matter anything other than it's like...
Well, you have to think, it's like, okay, well, what if that was you? What would you want someone to do for you?
Exactly.
Or what if that was
What would you do?
Right.
Like that show.
What?
Like the show, What Would You Do?
Oh, yeah.
Which is coming back, apparently.
Good, that's a good show.
I know. I've always wanted to be...
I always think about that. Like, if something happens, I'm like, oh,
Me
I'm
too.
being filmed right now, and I don't do it, or
Me
whatever.
Too.
And so it's like, it's just a constant reminder of, like, I could be filmed, I could be, like, scolded on TV.
Yeah.
But doing the right thing, one, makes you feel good. Because there's no way these people, and maybe they just are, like, sociopaths or whatever, and they just don't have feelings of for anybody or even for themselves. Because, like, how do you do these disgusting, disgraceful things, allegedly, and go to sleep at night with a clear conscience?
Because that's what they've always believed. Like, for example, I just finished the Menendez Brothers docuseries, and I think it's very flawed.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a very flawed point of view. But the dad always taught the boys to cheat, to lie, whatever, just don't get caught. So, in my head, like, obviously, for example, like, their case, like, they were caught in a burglary thing. They were, like, burglarizing, like, their local friends that would go on vacation. And it's, like, their dad was very upset because it's, like,
They were burglarizing their own friends?
Yeah, because they knew when they would go on vacation.
That's so mean.
And so they go in and, like, take the money or whatever. Obviously, like, their line of abuse or whatever. But they also had a dad who was like, you lie and you cheat, whatever. Like, how do you think I got here? Blah, blah, blah. Like, just don't get caught. And they got caught.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, like, if you've always had that, like, mentality of, like, oh, well, I just have to cheat my way to the top. Or I just have to do this.
Yeah.
It's like, don't think like that, guys. Watch Barney.
They obviously did not. I'm channeling my inner Barney.
Yeah, she really is. She's wearing almost all maroon.
Yeah, maroon.
Purple. If you squint really hard, it looks purple.
Yeah. But I just think, like, there's a difference in, like, cheating and lying and straight up abuse and hurting someone else for your own well-being and for your own money.
I just think it's like a gateway. Oh, it's like a gateway drug.
Yeah, it's like
you start with the lying or the cheating, whatever, and then it goes into something bigger and it becomes bigger than...
It's just about making the wrong choices. Like, obviously...
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect, so, like, you can't always make the right choices, but you do know what's right from wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being human, you're like, oh, shit, that wasn't a right choice. Like, I won't do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Owning up to your mistakes and not making them again.
Yeah.
Apologizing if you hurt anybody's feelings. Like, things happen, but, like, to this level,
yeah,
no.
Did you see P. Diddy's mom was like, everyone makes mistakes? Let me read it.
No.
She, like, sent out a statement and was like, hopefully it lets me pull it up. Fernanda sent it to me this morning, and I was like, are you freaking serious? It is important to recognize that none of us, regardless of our status, are immune to fear or mistakes. Not being entirely straightforward about one issue does not mean my son is guilty of the repulsive allegations and the grave charges leveled against him. Many individuals who were wrongfully convicted and later exonerated had their freedom taken from them not because they were guilty of the crimes they were accused of, but because they didn't fit the image of what the society considers to be a good person. History has showed us how individuals can be wrongfully convicted due to their past actions or mistakes.
They have fucking evidence.
Mm-hmm. And she goes on.
If they didn't have evidence, they wouldn't have raided his house.
For real. And, like, mind you, like, apparently they've been building a case against him for years.
Of course.
Years. It's like, if they didn't have any, like, the FBI doesn't waste their time on a case this big.
Yeah.
If they don't have, like,
they need
hard
evidence. And they couldn't even get a search warrant to seize anything unless they had evidence or witnesses to do this.
Yeah, and so actually the theory is why he's been seized and everything is because he bit the hand that fed him. And so apparently, I'll have to send you the video. It's he's always had to deal with Ciroc, the vodka, the liquor. And so he's always had to deal with them, and so he makes like money for promoting Ciroc.
Okay.
And so Ciroc is owned by a company called Diageo or something like that. And so they then release this other liquor called I don't know what. And he partners up and he's like, oh yeah, whatever. He sues them for, I forget what exactly because it doesn't really make sense to me. But he sues Diageo for, I don't know, like profiling him. I'm not really sure. Okay. I could be wrong. And so Diageo, when you look at the top investors, are like BlackRock, Vanguard. It's like these big guys, and it's like you're not going to go and like sue these bigger, powerful, like fish just because you think you're like being a smart guy. So like the theory is like that those at the top at Diageo or whatever, or BlackRock, because they're fucking everywhere.
What's BlackRock?
If you go and look at literally all the big companies, Coca-Cola, fucking
it's a company.
Samsung.
It's a company?
It's a company that has literally shares, majority shares, and almost literally everything you can think of. From Fox News to CNN. From ABC to fucking Disney Channel for all we fucking know.
Yeah.
To Pepsi to Coca-Cola. And actually France, all the people when they were protesting 2 years ago, they broke into BlackRock in Paris.
Really?
And like that never made it to news. But I remember watching it on TikTok and it was fucking wild.
Yeah.
The French know how to fucking riot, that's for sure. But and so the theory is that like they probably had all this stuff on him to just hand over to the feds to be like, here you go, to get rid of a lawsuit. I'll have to find that.
Yeah.
I just watched that either last night or this morning. And it was really interesting because it's like, because the question is like, who turned him in? He's been doing this. Who turned in?
Yeah, he's been doing this forever.
What finally, like, what information got into the wrong hands? Who did he invite? Because all these influencers are starting to come about. And so there's a theory about that girl who does the podcast. Her name's Bobby. And she does those, like, weird bits where she acts like she's not interested in the celebrity she's interviewing.
Yes.
She did a bit with Drake. I think it was her first person. And she went to a party with him and stuff. And, like, it's alleged she signed an NDA, so she can't speak on literally anything. But something happened that shifted her, it shifted her gear, like, away from that area. Because I think she was invited to a Diddy party.
Really?
I think. I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and check my sources.
Yeah.
But
it's just crazy how, like, it is all connected. Especially just, like, with the influencer. Remember I was telling you about that guy that was telling his story? He was friends with someone. They went to a Diddy party. The friend stayed. He did not. But he saw something that he was not supposed to see in the window outside. And he gets home his friend is not there. Obviously, he's still at the party. The friend, the one that left, had another friend coming in town from wherever, out of town, and he was supposed to stay for a week, and he was, well, probably like, thank fucking God, because then he had to go pick up his friend. Well, by the time he got back to his place, the other friend that was at the party was in the lobby. And he was, like, you know, worried about him, because he was like, dude, I fucking saw what happened in the window. Like, whatever. So when he brought that up to his friend got pissed, like, accusatory, like, mad, walked away. Didn't see him for, like, a couple of days. And during that amount of time, things started getting weird in the friends that saw something in his apartment. The other friend luckily was staying there. He had just graduated from the police academy, so he was a police officer. And he goes, I think that if he wasn't there, something bad would have happened.
Oh, wow.
But, like, little things to just, like, let him know that they were there watching, they can get into your house. Like, one time, the friend that was in from out of town was like, oh, like, how do you have coffee but no creamer? And he's like, oh, like, sorry, it's been fucking crazy or whatever. The next day there was creamer in the fridge, and he was like, oh, thanks. And for, like, maybe 2 or 3 days he didn't say anything to the friend, like, mention all this weird stuff happening. But he's known this friend for, like, 10 years, and so they went to get into his car, and his shift gear was, like, old. It's like a 10-year-old car. It's like, it was old, it would, like, stick and whatever. And that shift gear had been replaced. New. And he did not do it.
That's scary.
And so the friend, he's like, they're messing with my car. Like, I have to tell my friend, or, like, I'm putting his life at risk. And so he told him everything that had happened. And the friend had driven that car, like, in years past, and knew the shifter. He's like, you promised you didn't get it changed? And he's like, I swear to God. And so the friend left, and I guess that next day or whatever time, the original friend that was at the party came back and was like, you need to leave with him, or something bad's gonna happen.
That's scary.
Right?
Damn. I'm glad we're nobodies.
Allegedly. All that happened allegedly.
Well, we didn't name names, so.
I know, but.
But, yeah, guys, this is just a crazy rabbit hole.
I know, it's so crazy.
It just gets, like, deeper and deeper. Like, the longer
we're...
Like, the more you talk about it, and then...
I know.
Like, I think there's a girl on TikTok who's, like, actually, she's got, like, a wall of sticky notes. And, like, connecting dots. If y'all want to go follow her.
That would kind of be fun. It'd be like we're our own detectives.
Yeah, it would be so much fun.
Well,
and kind of scary.
Kind of scary.
We have nothing else to do, but...
I know. I wouldn't be posting it on TikTok.
That's
for
no.
Sure.
It would be for you and me.
It would be like just for us to talk about, and then we could...
And then we can invite our moms and be like, okay,
yeah, what do you guys
ready?
think? Yeah.
Be like, you girls need to leave the house.
Yeah. We're like scratching our heads, and we're like,
we're like
showered in like 5 days.
How many coffees have you guys had?
Oh, we're on espresso. We're not even drinking coffee at this point.
We went to Waffle House. Our girl hooked us up with the 4 pots of coffee.
That is where we have some of our best ideas, is Waffle House. That and Dick's Cafe.
Dick's Cafe, yeah.
You can't go wrong with Dick's.
No, you can't.
Dick's Cafe.
It's DIX, guys.
I know, yeah.
No, I'm letting the people know. Get your mind out of the gutter. Man,
Nasty.
Anyways, we could talk about this all night, people.
I know, we really could.
We could go on forever.
I think that we'll put a pen in it, because
we didn't even cover a lot of the stuff on my notebook.
No, I know. You have a lot of conspiracies. I do have one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Obviously, everything's kind of crazy, but Hurricane Helene just hit and has, like, been very devastating to the towns in North Carolina.
Many parts of the
or
in
the
Tennessee
country.
too, yeah.
So our hearts and our prayers go out to those affected by the hurricane and the people that have lost their lives. But I've heard a couple of crazy, weird things about it.
Mm-hmm.
That there are people that have seen like planes, and this is all, we don't know if it's true.
Right.
This is me just reporting what I've seen on TikTok. But there are people that have seen like planes, because obviously there's a hurricane coming. But it didn't necessarily have to be as bad as it was, which caused all the damage.
Yeah.
These airplanes were releasing dry ice into the atmosphere, into the clouds, which causes the clouds to rain
Dry
more.
ice?
I think that's what they said.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't think it was dry ice.
What was it?
Because they do it in Dubai. It's called a method to like make it rain more.
Yeah.
Because that's what they did in Dubai a couple months ago, and Dubai was like flooding.
Yeah.
Because they like messed with the weather.
It was dry ice.
I don't think it's dry ice. It's called, here, let me Google it real fast.
So anyways, them doing that, and why would you do that during a hurricane, knowing it's going to rain?
I don't know. Hold on.
And so all of that damage made it rain more, which caused, people are saying like it's a conspiracy theory like with the government or whatever.
Cloud seeding is what it's called.
But what do they use?
Pilots release silver iodide particles into clouds through flares or tubes mounted on the wings of a plane. The particles act as nuclei for water vapor to bond around and freeze, forming precipitation. Turboprop aircraft are often used for cloud seeding because they can fly at high speeds and altitudes.
Maybe I heard that
Because I'm like, I don't think dry ice makes...
They'd
be getting fucking hail.
This is...
The sky is falling.
It's like smoky ice. Like,
for real. Chicken Little, go home.
This is how rumors start. Like, I heard it wrong, but that sounds like what they were talking about. So I'm glad you just
Dry
knew
ice.
what I was talking about, and you were like, no, that doesn't sound right. So that, and then there's another theory or conspiracy of like, like there's a bajillion trucks that haul like, like, rescue things, like water, bulldozers, whatever you need, like the truck drivers look for those jobs because they pay more and they're needed.
Yeah.
So like whenever there's natural disasters, like the truck drivers, they have like a website just like everyone else has a website to book their jobs. And this guy was like, there are literally no trucks going to North Carolina.
Dang. So my theory is, which is something that
Why are we trying to kill off North Carolina?
I don't think they're trying to kill off North Carolina. I think many things. Appalachian Mountain has a very, has a very weird energy just because of the things that people always talk about that happened after dark in Appalachia. 2, I think I read something, and I only saw it once and I didn't dig deeper into it, but have you ever heard of what lithium mines are? Do you know what they are?
Mm-mm.
So lithium mines have popped up in Mexico, have popped up in Africa, and they are like, I guess it's kind of like a fossil fuel or something, but it's how you're able to, like, it's a battery pretty much. It's like the resource we get to create batteries for our iPhones, for Teslas.
Yeah.
And so obviously we're in a very like advanced, like we want to just keep advancing technology wise.
Right.
People are buying more fucking Teslas left and right.
Yeah.
And just electronic cars in general. And so it's like
the fact that we can't just have one phone for 1 year before we have to create a fucking new one.
Well, I don't think it has to do with that, but like
still, like
why? The lithium, it's for lithium batteries. And so it's like the theory is that there is probably, because you also have to think about like the history within those mountains, like with the Native Americans. and all that stuff. It's
probably
like there
some
has to be lithium
weird-
mines or something that they came across and want access to. Because in Mexico, I can tell you, like, this is all alleged again because I don't know, but it's things I've heard through my mom and family and stuff. It's like China and the U.S. want in a certain state in Mexico because there is lithium mines, like probably the biggest in the world. Another one that is already well known is in Africa, and they actually use like child slave labor. Like people are literally killing themselves because they know that these companies are going to buy it.
Oh my god.
And so it's, to me, when I learned this, I found it crazy because this is why I'm like, Hollywood is always telling us things. Because I know we talked about this last week about Marvel movies, and they're always making these fucking Marvel movies. Well, 2 recent Marvel movies I had to watch because my mom and my brother were like, we need to watch it. That is Black Panther, the Black Panther movies. And
There's
they
more
both,
than one?
it's 1 and 2, yeah.
Oh god. Okay.
They only did 2 in honor of the guy that passed away from
Oh.
cancer, so
Yeah.
I mean, bless him.
Yeah.
But he's in the first one, and in Black Panther land, I forget what it's called, I'm sorry, Wakanda, they are protecting an energy source. And in the second movie, there is like this Mayan people of superpowers that come to warn them and be like, the outside people want to take our energy source. And I just think it is, what a coincidence that it's with Africans and Mexicans, and really what they're talking about is lithium. But they just call it something else. And like I told my mom, I was like, that is just like too weird.
Too close.
Because when I started hearing about the lithium stuff, I was like, those movies are a little too close to...
Well, they probably have a hand in it.
100%.
Yeah.
Probably
so they
like...
know.
But I was just like, this
They're
is
like, this
too...
Black Panther is based on true
True story, yeah. But I was just like, that is too weird. So that is one theory about the lithium mines. That's what I wrote. And
About the hurricane?
about the hurricane. I read
Okay.
somewhere that they're like, it is alleged.
They just want people to be out of there for some reason, which is so weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because, like, this completely wiped out, like, a whole town.
Yeah.
Like, people are having to walk because of, you can't, there is no road.
Yeah.
Like, that is what's so crazy to me.
It's
Like,
wild.
it's so scary. Like, I actually was, like, on a weird, like, not a Diddy hole, but I was in a Helene hole. And I was just, like, looking at, like, people's, like, before and afters. Like, this is what Main Street looked like, and this is what it looks like after. And just, like, it was giving me...
I was literally there. Ange and I went, like a year and a half ago.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But I was, like, watching... I was, like, on my phone, like, scrolling through on Friday. And when I went to bed, I had just been watching, like, the Menendez brothers. And I was like, oh, I hope I don't have nightmares about... Because there was one episode where one of the brothers was just describing all the abuse. And I was like, oh, man, I hope I don't have nightmares about that. No, I had such a, like... Oh, I didn't tell you. I had such a vivid nightmare.
Yeah.
That I was, like, in a town somewhere with these people that I feel like I kind of know, but I don't know them in real life.
Yeah.
And we were, like, in this 2-story home, and, like, we're like, oh, like, the rain is coming, like, they're talking about flood warning, whatever. And we're literally on the 2nd story, and you could just hear, like, the water just, like, rushing down, and, like, the water rising, and we're like, okay, like, we have to. Also, I'm, like, on my phone, like, on TikTok and checking the weather in my dream. But I'm, like, at one point, like, it's, like, you can really, like, we can, like, look below and, like, see the water coming in, and it's, like, muddy, and it's, like, at one point, like, the water does sweep the house away, and it's, like, we're all just, like, holding on, and that's when I woke up, and I was, like, laying on my back with my hands on my chest, and I was, like, that's why I dreamt this, but it was so scary because it felt so real.
Yeah. That is terrifying. But...
So, I just can't imagine what some of those people...
Yeah, I can't imagine. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, and, you know, our prayers go out to Tampa and Florida this
that's
week
about to
because
hit.
fucking Milton. What an ugly ass name.
Yeah.
He's a category 5 right now.
Who decides the hurricane names?
They have like
Yeah, but like, how do you get on the list?
That's a really good question.
Like, how did Milton get on the list?
I really don't know. But I remember one year it was like Maria and Irma, and that is my mom's name. I'm like, damn, who pissed you off?
Yeah, for real. That's hilarious. Do you remember that movie that we watched? And then we can end it because I feel like we've been just rambling. But do you remember that movie that we watched about the tsunami?
Yes.
I think about that all the time.
All the time.
Like, that was such
Erin and I were like, let's watch a movie.
Like an unexpected, crazy...
10 minutes and we're sobbing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, like, what is even happening? Like, I couldn't even imagine, like...
And it was based on a real family.
Yeah.
Like,
where were they? They were in Japan.
No, they were not Thailand. They were Indonesia. They were there for Christmas holidays.
Yes.
It was New Year's Eve. It was New Year's Day or something like that.
Yeah.
Christmas Day or something.
Oh my god, yeah. I can't even... I think about it all the time. I'm like,
to me, what's so crazy,
wild.
Because like I'll get videos on TikTok of like actual footage of people like on that day, and it's like you can see the water like pulling out. Like it's like the shore is so big, and it's like these people are just like walking on the beach and like, oh, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
And it's like, no.
Yeah. I can't even thinking about it. They did such a good job with that movie though.
Yeah. Tom Holland's in that movie, for people that don't know.
I was very impressed.
I was too.
The movie ended and we both looked at each other. We're like, what did we just watch?
We were sobbing.
Yeah, it was.
I was crying a lot. I think I was even hiccuping through.
It was very emotional. Daisy, we're trying to record and it's not that.
It's a serious conversation.
She's like,
hey.
Hey, if you're gonna take a bath, like there's literally anywhere else that you could go and take a bath.
She doesn't care.
Oh, me? Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Okay, we'll end it so you can take a bath.
Alright, guys, well, maybe if you hadn't heard about all these conspiracies, well, welcome aboard.
And also, if you have something that you think we missed, send it to us because we want to know what you think and what your conspiracy is on what's going on. If you think it's true, if you don't think it's true,
or if you have like another
conspiracy,
another spin to it.
What did you say? We were theorizing.
Yeah.
Theorizing. Theory. Yeah.
Another theory. Yeah.
We want to hear it.
Comment. Send it to us.
Call us if you want to.
Yeah, for real.
DM us. I'll take your phone call and be like, hey, I heard your episode. This is my theory.
We need to set up a meeting.
Yeah.
Because
I've got the facts. It's not a theory. It's the truth.
Right.
Oh my god, I would die if that happened. That would be so cool.
You're like, oh my god.
Yeah. Okay, well, we love you guys and hope you enjoyed this episode of Spooky Conspiracies.
All right, toodles.
Love ya.